Hi, I don't know how to light the scene, and I have a problem. On February 12, my final animation project started. We had 10 weeks to complete this project, which would be shown in the cinema. However, there's 3 weeks left, and I have nothing. I have procrastinated so hard I even made a whole different animation in the meantime. Having said that, welcome to this mini-series of my road to making an animation. In 3 weeks this time, unfortunately. I really want to call this a devlog series, but I'm not super sure if the programming people are okay with me using that word, so for now just a little update. Here are some basic details before I start the project. First of all, as you may have already caught on, I have to make an animation. The deadline is around April 17th, so I have almost exactly 3 weeks to complete this project. The animation has to be 30 seconds to 2 minutes long. And finally, it has to be related to either AI or global warming. Since AI is already taking over our jobs, I am not letting it take over my project. So I began the project with putting the prompt into ChatGPT. To have the most efficient process, I have to plan this out. I really don't want to remake things because I didn't think this through in the beginning. I gotta make a mood board, then a storyboard, then an animatic to test how long the animation will be, then actually animate it, then composite everything, and finally edit everything with sound. So far, my idea for an animation about global warming is a simple animation of a plastic bag wandering around the post-human world to raise a question whether we want plastic to outlive us. I think the idea is pretty straightforward and could be interesting, and as a bonus I won't have to animate any humans. We just got too many limbs. The tough part now is figuring out how the animation looks. And that's why we have mood boards. This is the time when I get way too overambitious and add stuff that I know that I won't be able to animate, especially in the 3-week time frame. However, it's just not fun otherwise. I want to have some nice scenery as the plastic bag just goes around exploring. And that scenery should be kinda dead, a potential future dead world caused by global warming. The closest example I can think of is of a war-torn world. It doesn't have to be realistic though, mostly because if it was, I would have to do a lot of research. So far from what I've seen, I really like when animations don't have a distinct outline and when there's a lot of attention paid to the lighting, because it can give an animation a really nice atmosphere, which is, I think, really cool. Since the animation is a little too simple, I decided to add a section before the plastic part where it's modern day, where I can show a little bit of nature and then humanity taking over. I think it'll add some context to the part afterwards. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Nothing like a fresh new page, am I right? I'm actually wrong, it's terrifying, so I already have stuff prepared to show. Honestly, I added the part with nature purely because I wanted to animate a frog. Just look at this guy. This is George, and I'm sure he's glad to meet you all. Okay, here's the storyboard I have so far. George is just chilling, sees a shadow. The shadow is revealed to be a plane. George is astounded by this, and he follows or just looks at the shadow as it goes over the hill, and you can see a city growing behind the hill, kind of like in real time. Then a car goes towards the camera and it kind of knocks it over, and we see the car going away, and the city keeps building. And then there's a cut, and now, unknown amount of time later, it's like destroyed, and there's a little plastic man that notices the camera, looks at it, and from then on it's kind of just the plastic bag wandering around and seeing the dead world. And at the end he's walking towards the sunset and he notices something, and it's another plastic guy just chilling, and they kind of exchange some awkward looks, kind of like this. And I guess it ends. The storyboarding definitely took longer than expected. Just turning an idea into a cohesive storyline with visuals is hard, but having the next square while drawing be completely empty every time can be really unmotivating. I think it's important to make some sort of a decision though, because it's better than having nothing, and it doesn't have to be permanent. And right now, I really need to have something. Before I go, I wanted to test the style of the animation by drawing some stills of the plastic bag and the frog to see what I'm working with. For George, I had a pretty clear idea of what I wanted to do with him, but the background was a little bit tougher. I had to go through a few different styles to finally have what I liked. I think the lighting really sold the look. After a good minute of looking at the bag that I randomly found, I started working on the second still. Although I can still improve the bag in the background, I feel like I'm improving with the lighting. I think it looks pretty cool. There's definitely still a lot of work to be done, but I'm just glad that I started the project instead of leaving it for 3 days before the project ending, which I'm pretty sure would be impossible. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments or ideas, please tell me. I will be posting a video like this for the next 3 weeks every Saturday, so mark your calendars because you're part of this journey now, and I'm scared to go alone.